Thank you for joining me for How Many Tarot Decks Do You Own? Part 4. And I think this might be the final part. I went through my apartment. I looked in all of the usual places. And I think what I have gathered here is the last of all of the decks that I own. So this has included playing card decks. This has included tarot decks. This has included oracle decks. This has included Lenormand and Kipper decks. All of the cartomancy I have, and divination as well. Oh crap, now I'm thinking out about other divination systems that I have not put next to me, like my Charming Dead charm casting kits. I know exactly where that is, and I'm not gonna go grab that right now. I'm gonna focus on what we have here. So maybe this might not be the final final counts. Oh geez, guys. See, this is the reason why I never wanted to answer this question of how many decks do I own, because it's just like, I'll just keep going and then I'll actually have the answer, and the answer is way too many. This is also a reminder that in order to be a true tarot card reader, how many decks do you actually need? Just one. Just one. Like, if you enjoy collecting tarot decks, if you enjoy the artwork, if you enjoy just to collect tarot decks and you don't actually read for other people, or you only read for yourself, like, that's completely valid too. So let's start, shall we? Hello, Nat. So just a reminder again, how many tarot decks do you need to be a true tarot reader? Just one. Just one. Like, if you want to be a magpie like me, that's also completely valid and fine. If you don't, that's also fine too. So let me start. So we are at, this is part 4. I thought it was going to be the final part. It might not be the final part, because now I'm thinking like, oh yeah, I also do have a couple of charm casting kits elsewhere. So this may this may or may not be the final part. I'm just gonna say it's part 4, and if I happen to find more, we'll find more. Okay, so because we are on part 4, we are on number 91. So I have to make my piles here, and I'm just going to say that the Crow Tarot by MJ Cullinan is going to be 91, because that's the one that I'm currently working with right now for Card of the Day polls for the month of June. So let me just write that down. And I have been keeping lists since part 1, because otherwise, if I don't keep a list, I might be doing repeats, and I don't want to do a repeat count and further balloon the number more than it actually is, because guys, we're on 91. So the Crow Tarot is number 91, and I've just pulled our card of the day for today, which is the Ace of Cups from the Crow Tarot. After I'm done with this live or this video or whatever the hell this is called, I will go ahead and post that card of the day. So pile. Crow Tarot is going to be over. Yeah. Okay. So number 92. And while we're doing this count, please feel free to ask any questions that you have, any like general questions that you have about like tarot reading, like what's it all about? Do I get messages outside of readings with clients? You know, feel free, ask away. I'm an open book. Okay, so number 92, because it's closest to hand, is the Light Seers Tarot by Chris Ann Donnelly. Beautiful. Publisher is Hay House. And by the way, the Crow Tarot, I believe, is from US Games. So, Lightseers Tarot. Also, keep in mind, if you guys want to have a more post-mortem for the Lightseers Tarot, we are doing that tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, over on my YouTube and my Facebook, youtube.com/@tarot by Hillary with one L. Pretty sure same thing with the Facebook page. So if you want to check out my thoughts about the Lightseers Tarot after working with it for the last, actually, more like 2 months of working with the Lightseers Tarot, you should tune in. We're also going to do a an exclusive spread from the Lightseers Tarot. That's number 92. Number 93, we have... Again, not in any particular order. I think I'm gonna use my workhorses decks last. I'm going to show them last. So this is not a tarot deck. This is the Sawyer's Lenormand by Jamie Sawyer. Again, Lenormand is a different system than tarot. 36 cards instead of 78 cards. If you want more information about Lenormand, I have definitely done an episode of the live stream on Lenormand. So, number 93. Sawyer's Lenormand. Okay. So, do I own over 100 decks? Yes, I do. Just for a quick glance of the ones that I've got coming up for you guys, yes, I do own over 100 decks. This is the reason why I never wanted to count them in the first place, because then I would actually have an answer for you guys about how many tarot decks I actually have. It's less than I thought. I thought it was going to be over 200. It's not. So that's a tiny bit of a relief. Okay. Speaking of Lenormand, this is another workhorse deck of mine that I use a lot with my clients, and it is a Lenormand deck, or as my clients like to call it, the little cards. And hopefully I am not repeating count on this, but this is Kendra's Vintage Petite Lenormand. And I will go back through my list just to make sure I have no repeats. Methinks I might have repeated, though, on this point. I hope not. So these are the ones that my clients know as, oh, can you bring out the little cards? That's what they're asking for usually. And I think I have do I have a pendulum in here? Yes, I do. I have a key pendulum from one of my charm casting kits in there too. All right, number 94, Kendra's Vintage Petite Lenormand. And if you were wondering why Lenormand decks are typically smaller than tarot decks, it's because there is a particular spread in Lenormand called the Grand Tableau, where you use all 36 cards of the Lenormand. So typically those cards are going to be smaller so that you're able to lay out all 36 cards. If you had to lay out a Grand Tableau where the Lenormand cards were as big as tarot cards, you would need quite a big swath of space in order to lay out those cards. Okay, next, so this is an oracle deck. This is the Sacred Path Labyrinth cards by Tracy Andreek. And so instead of, so it's the ancient wisdom embedded in the labyrinth pattern. The themes in the Sacred Path Labyrinth cards are meant to be thought-provoking and to help you walk your path in harmony and balance. So a couple of examples are heart chakra, open yourself to love, communicates, share your wisdom, and vision, move through illusion. I'm not sure how many cards are in this particular deck, but Sacred Path Labyrinth cards. All right, number 95. 96. We have a more recent acquisition. And this is from, I'm pretty sure I asked Llewellyn to send me a reviewer's copy. So this is the Lubanco Tarot by E. Lubanco. Explore the surreal, the intense, the queer, and the divine. Beautiful, beautiful packaging. We stand on magnetic closure here. Really, really gorgeous deck. Could be used as a shadow work kind of deck. I've seen a lot of people liking it for that. So number 96, the Lubanco Tarot. And if I'm remembering correctly, this is I think that was the 7, was that the 7 of Cups? No. Yes? This might be the 7 of Cups on the cover. Lubanco Tarot. Number 96. All right. Number 97. A reviewer copy from Wiser Red Wheel Wiser. Protection Spells by Judica Isles. Gorgeous. Like this kind of like slide out box for it. And then it has like different kinds of snake and moons on the back, and then a spell card on the front. This particular one is from Archangel Protection. Michael to the right of me, Gabriel to my left, Uriel before me, Raphael guard my back. So invoking the archangels to provide protection you need. And I really like that there's gold trim. Nice little deck. Handy little deck. And why would you use a deck like this? If you're feeling like you need protection, but you're not quite sure what kind of protection magic or protection spell you need, go ahead and shuffle it up, and whatever card comes up for you is a suggestion for the kind of protection magic you might want to work. So that's number 97, Protection Spells by Judica Isles. Number 98. Let's go with another oracle. This is the Visionary Oracle by Comfort and Heart. I actually got this as a gift from Jamie Elford, who is one of the other co-hosts of Card Slingers Coast to Coast. So check us out. So this she sent me when I was in the middle of writing my book, How to Read Tarot. And it is an intuitive tool that can help you gain daily wisdom and insights into your creative challenges. So specifically, the Visionary Oracle is for unlocking your creativity, and it's designed to answer the question, what do I need to know right now to align with my highest creative self? And it has four different categories, 64 cards in 4 different categories for freeing your inner artist: intellectual for air, energetic for fire, practical for earth, and emotional for water. So not all Oracle decks are built that way. Most Oracle decks have kind of more of a free-flowing structure, and they rarely have suits, but that's based on what the Oracle deck creator wants to do. So the Visionary Oracle by Comfort and Heart is number 98. All right. All right, there's a specific deck that I want to be number 100. So I will move into, I guess let's do the Wiser Tarot next. So this is actually the mini Wiser Tarot. I also do have a full-size version of the Wiser Tarot somewhere or another. I think I've already covered it, hopefully, in the last 99 Oracle and Tarot decks I have. So this is the mini Wiser Tarot, again, sent from the good people at Red Wheel Weiser as a reviewer copy. So I do have, I'm pretty sure, did I do an unboxing on the mini Weiser? Maybe not, because I had already done one on the Weiser Tarot. Mini Weiser Tarot. I really do love these slide out boxes too. It's kind of neat, especially for like mini decks. You've got your little, does not come with an, wait, hold on. Let me not make a liar out of myself. No, mini Wiser Tarot does not come with a guidebook or a little white book. So keep that in mind if you purchase it. So that is number 99. Okay, guys, number 100 is Baby's First Tarot deck. It did not come this way, all right? I'm pretty sure I have my pamphlet in this Tupperware that I have over here off camera. So this is an Ipsy bag that I have it in, but this was my very, very first tarot deck. This is the Tarot Nova tarot deck by Julia Pashkis and Dennis Fairchild. So got that there. That's the backs. Here are the front. And it doesn't come with a guidebook, but it came with a pamphlet, and it was part of a fortune telling kit that I have bought for my mom for her birthday when I was 16 years old. So that tells you exactly how long I've been working with tarot, because I'm 45 now. And honestly, my mom was just like, I thought it was a great, great gift. Hey, Macy and Lauren. I thought it was a really, really great gift, but she was kind of taken aback by it. And so she handed it back to me and said, read for me. And that is how I began my tarot journey. So she didn't know what she was unleashing onto the world by handing me back that gift. But this was my very, very first tarot deck, the Tarot Nova. So that's the reason why I had to make it number 100, even though I've been counting all of my tarot and oracle decks in no particular order. I had to make my first one number 100. So that is the Tarot Nova. Okay. And like For example, that's the Six of Wands right there. Wait, no. Six? No. Four. Four of Wands. Four of Wands right there. So, color-coded majors have purple on the corners. Wands have red on the corners. Pentacles have green on the corners. Cups has blue. You get the picture. And it was not the easiest of decks to learn on because it was so simplistic. And I really wouldn't recommend using the Tarot Nova as your very first deck. If you're wanting to learn tarot, just like get yourself a Rider-Waite-Smith. And to some degree, this is Rider-Waite-Smith based. Most modern tarot decks are. But having just very simplistic imagery on these cards doesn't leave a lot for your intuition to glom onto. So it does make it a little bit harder to learn how to read tarot using a simplistic deck. I've heard the same thing said about like the Kawaii tarot deck, which is very simplistic and cute, but not a lot to glom on to for your intuition. So yes, you can learn on it, but if you want to have your tarot journey be a little bit easier starting out, I would not recommend this deck as your very first deck. It just so happened to be mine. All right. Number 101. Let's go with two more Oracle decks. So 101 and 102. 101 is going to be the Work Your Light Oracle by Rebecca Campbell with artwork by Danielle Noel. And number 2 is going to be the Starseed Oracle, also same collaboration there. So these boxes be empty because I have taken these two decks that I use frequently with my clients when I end their reading to bring their reading to a close. So I have stuffed both of them into this tarot bag that I got at the Morgan Library gift shop. But I have combined the two decks together into a mega deck here, along with their guidebooks. Just because I use both of them so interchangeably that I'm just like, might as well put a mega deck together of these two. But they are two separate Oracle decks. So let me write those down. So 101, Work Your Light Oracle. And again, I am going to go through this list to make sure that I don't have any repeats. Because this list is long enough without repeats. All right. 101 and 102. 103. This one I haven't worked with yet because it was a gift from one of my managers when I was departing retail. So this is the Ink and Intuition Tattoo Tarot, little mini deck here. Has an open and close here. This is by lawrenceking.com. Tarot deck by tattoo artist Oliver Munden with a fold-out guide to all 78 cards. Looks very simplistic in the minor arcana. I guess I'll have to do an unboxing on that one. I guess maybe for July, possibly. We'll see. But that is the Tattoo Tarot. I'm just going to put the artist in parens because there are several tattoo tarots that I have, like the Eight of Coins Tattoo Tarot. and the Bonefire tarot deck, which is also kind of tattoo adjacent, or tattoo splash adjacent. So, London. All right, so that's 103. 104. Let's see what's in here. I think, yes. All right, so 104 and 105 are going to be 2 volumes of Oracle cards. And I rarely use them because unfortunately the creator kind of made a misstep in her marketing that felt a little racist. Not great. So that would be Danielle Laporte's Truth Bomb Decks, volume 1 and 2. So volume 1 had this gold here, and they're mostly like affirmations. They're mostly sayings in script. Hello, Maria. So this is volume 1, and then volume 2 had, I think, pink gold foil, pink foil. And so I mixed, much like the Work Your Light in the Starseed, where I mixed them into a mega deck. I also did the same thing with the Truth Bombs. And I would usually give them out, once she had her misstep, I would give these out during a Halloween party that I would do every year, a private event that I would do every year. But they look like this on the back, either gold or pink, and then they would have a saying on the front, like change your costume. And these I would just give away. So this is pretty much the only decks, or the only 2 volumes of Oracle cards that I would give away to people to remember their reading. And I figured that was like kind of, I guess, a kinder way to kind of let this deck go with what had happened. Because unfortunately she doubled down on the mistake or the controversy or the, yeah. So it's just not great. So 104 and 105 is Truth Bomb deck, volume 1 and volume 2. So I'm whittling down those particular 2 decks in here and in here. All right. $106. Let's go with another Oracle. So we have the Super Attractor Oracle deck, basically an affirmation deck. It's 52 cards by Gabby Bernstein with artwork by Michaela Ezra. Really, really like this deck. Again, more affirmations than anything else. So, but it does have artwork on it. So you've got the backs here. And then you have the front here. Like, for example, here you have artwork, but you also have an affirmation. For example, here, to begin the practice of allowing, I must get out of the way and let spirit give me direction. So there's this one, and then I think I might have mentioned the Spirit Junkie one on a previous part of how many decks do I have. For some reason, I just didn't have these 2 decks. I think I have like 3 decks from Gabby Bernstein. Miracles Now, Spirit Junkie, and Super Attractor. But they were in 3 different places, so they didn't really come together in the different parts of how many decks do I have. So, Super Attractor deck. All right, so that is 106. Another Hay House. Okay, 107, I happen to have the deck and the book that goes along with it, which has been another mighty struggle to combine the decks and the companion books together. Like right now, I feel like I've gotten the I feel like with the animal spirit, the wild unknown animal spirit oracle, which are kind of like medicine cards, or Kim Kranz's version of medicine cards with different animals on it, I feel like I'm either rediscovering the deck and then losing the deck, and then rediscovering the guidebook and then losing the deck. Wait. Rediscovering the deck and then losing it, and then rediscovering the guidebook and then losing it. So I feel like it's very trickster energy, where it's just like, I feel like I can't like get those two crazy kids together. And with an oracle deck, as I've said before, a lot of the time you do need the guidebook for an oracle deck in order to make sense of it or interpret it, because oracle decks do not follow a structure like the tarot does. Anyway, all of that being said, number 107 is the Transparent Tarot by Emily Carding, in which I have the guidebook here and the cards themselves. So this is very good. And then of course I got this bag from Ipsy, and it happens to be clear as well, and it says dream on it. So I'm just like, oh, this is a perfect bag to house the Transparent Tarot in. So the Transparent Tarot literally is, I don't know what material this is made out of, but there is a little bit of stickiness to it. So keep that in mind. You might need like shuffling powder for this. But like, for example, here's the Page of Pentacles. And then you can use these in combination with each other, or you can lay these on top of another tarot deck or an oracle deck. Really, really great for tarot card combinations. Really cool. I mean, sometimes it just unlocks certain interpretations, certain like tarot readings. Really, really powerful, really, really deep. Like, for example, here's an example of the major Chariot with the dual horses. So it's a more simplified imagery, but unlike something like the Tarot Nova, where its simplicity works against it, in this case, its simplicity is its strength, because I think it was created to be combined with other divination systems or other tarot decks, or working well with each other. Like you can see on the cover of the guidebook, you know, you don't have to place it directly one on top of another, but like, look at that. There's so many layers of meaning here that you can extract. And then here's another combination on the back of the guidebook, where you have the Sun card combined with, wow, looks like other majors here. The Sun card combined with the Empress, combined with the Emperor, and possibly the Nine. So not sure if that's the Hermit in there, but like you've got at least 1, 2, 3, 4. You've got at least 4 tarot cards in that one image there. Pretty cool, right? Anyway, that's the Transparent Tarot by Emily Carding. The other tarot deck that I have by Emily Carding is Tarot of the She, which I believe I talked about in another parts. Remember, we're on part 4, guys. Transparent. tarot. That is 107. So even if I did do repeats here, fairly certain that I didn't do a lot of repeats and that we are definitely over 100 different decks and divination systems in my collection over the last 20 years of reading professionally. All right. We are getting down to the last 3 of this particular session. Maybe my final session, and may not. Don't know. So we have, this was, I'm pretty sure someone gifted this to me. I don't have the guidebook for it, but this is the Pagan Otherworlds Tarot by UUSI Publishing. Let's take it out. Oh my gosh, it's been so long since I've taken a look at this deck. Yeah, I think it might be a little bit mad at me too, because we got the Justice card as the deep card there. Beautiful, beautiful deck. Again, tarot cards are bigger than playing card decks or Lenormand decks. Beautiful backs. Very, very gorgeous. So, Pagan Otherworlds Tarot. UUSI. Number 108, guys. 2 more to go. All right. Number 109 is the Reflective Tarot, which is one of my 2 workhorse decks, which is the reason why I'm saving them for last, because I use them all the time and I didn't want them to go missing in this exploration of how many tarot decks do I have. But this is the Reflective Tarot. It is considered a mini tarot deck. It is well used, well worn, well loved. I have been doing examples of like how to cleanse a deck if you're feeling like the readings are getting a little bit sticky or a little bit not performing in the way that you would like them to. So this deck is in order. It does have a little white book that comes along with it. There's the Fool there, ending with the King of Pentacles. That's how I decided to reorder it. So examples of cleansing your tarot deck are on here if you want to take a look at that. So starting with Fool, and the example that I gave was without to reset or do a factory reset, as I like to call it, on your tarot deck. Just put it in the order that it came, when you originally opened it. And if you don't know that or don't have that information, or you happen to get a used tarot deck, what I usually recommend is reordering from the Fool to the World, and then Wands, Ace through 10, and then Page, Knight, Queen, King. And then the same thing for the, let's see, Wands, then Swords, then Cups, then Pentacles. You do you. You could do it in a different order if you want, but that is a good way. Just reordering the cards back into their original order is a great way to reset if you're feeling your readings are a little bit sticky. So this is a really great little deck to have in my purse on the go. as we've said in Card Slingers Coast to Coast before, when a tarot reader will say to you, I don't have my tarot cards on me, if you're asking us to pull a card when we're technically not on the clock, that's a lie. Most of us do carry a tarot card deck, and that is part of the reason for like getting tinier and tinier tarot card decks so that we can like just slap it in our purse and be on the go. But yeah, don't ask us for a reading. Don't ask us for a reading unless you're willing to pay for it, because this is our job. This is our livelihoods. Do you ask your doctor or your lawyer to do their job for free? Probably not. Not that I'm a doctor or a lawyer, but do you expect people to, do other people expect you to do your job for free? Probably not. All right, so number 109 is the Reflective Tarot, US Games. And finally, my tarot babies, my lovely chickadees, we have number 110, which quite possibly could be the final tally of how many decks do I own. Boop, boop, boop. In an Ipsy case. Oh, maybe it's 111. Actually, you know what? There's a certain symmetry here. It's not actually. See, this is what I get. This is what I get for packing 2 decks in one bag and thinking that I was done. No. All right. So number 110 is not the real end. Number 110 is the Stick Peeps Fancy Zaner. So Stick Peeps Fancy Zaner. So we have actually used this on the live stream to do little psychic games. And so the Stick Peeps Fancy Zaner or Rhine cards are cards, they are usually 25. This was actually made independently on the Game Crafter. And the box is absolutely falling apart. My apologies. So we have the rules here. So this is by Gidget London. So hi Gidget. I don't know if you're doing any more card decks, but I hope you are. So artfully and whimsically pizzazz, the popular Zaner cards, Stick Peeps Fancy Zaner cards, 25 cards in a pack. Five symbols, a star, a square, a circle, a plus sign, and 3 wavy lines consists of 5 of each symbol. So the Zaner cards, or the Rhine Zaner cards, are cards used to conduct experiments for extrasensory perception, ESP, most often clairvoyance. Perceptual psychologist Carl Zaner, 1903 to 1964, designed the cards in the early 1930s for experiments conducted with his colleague, parapsychologist J.B. Rhine, 1895 to 1980. So that's why we say Zaner-Rhine cards or Rhine-Zaner cards, because it was a collaboration between the two of them to test for ESP, extrasensory perception, extrasensory abilities. So you have the rules here, and then you guess. You basically like hold it up to someone, and then it's just like, okay, which symbol am I looking at? What symbol am I looking at? In this case, so you have star, square, circle, a plus sign, or 3 wavy lines. Tell me which one I'm looking at. So it's kind of a way to test, I guess, telepathy. because it's just like you'd have a sender and a receiver. So the person looking at the symbol is sending, and the receiver is trying to intuit which symbol the sender is looking at. And you go through, I believe, all 25 cards, and then they have the results and what it means and what the statistical probability is, versus guessing correctly or not guessing correctly. By the way, if you're wondering what symbol I was sending, it was the circle. But notice there's a little like stick peep guy in the center. So do not turn over any cards to who have guessed each card and written down all your guesses. So so that's a way of doing it too. So you can do it by yourself, you know, and just go through, right? Face down, and then just go through and put down your guesses, and then don't look until the very end and then be able to score yourself. Or you can do it with a sender and a receiver. You may wish to write on a paper to keep track of guess symbols and actual symbols. I like 100 guess increments, but you can guess as many as you like in 25 increments, in increments of 25. And then the results calculator is included on here too. So one hit out of 25 guesses would be average, or, you know, probability, the likelihood of the probability. And awesome would be two hits out of 25 is awesome. Out of 100, 28 would be the average. 32 or more would be awesome. And out of 200, 52 would be average. 57 would be psychic. So if you want to test your extrasensory abilities, your extrasensory perception, that would be the Stick Peeps Fancy Zahner or Zahner Rhyme cards by Gidget London. Let's see if I can put this back together. I guess I'm going to have to find a case for this because it is absolutely falling apart. That might be the reason why I had that in the bag of number 111. Okay, now for realsies. This is my workhorse. This is the one that I use most often with clients. This is the Radiant RWS Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot by US Games. This version came out in 2003. It has this backing here, and there's the Seven of Cups. What is the difference? What is the difference between like the classic and this? It's a little bit more muted. The colors are not as garish. The yellows aren't as yellow. The reds aren't as red. It's a little bit more watercolored, and I like it a little bit better because of that. As you can see, this is a well-worn, well-used, well-loved tarot deck. And most of the time, if I have this particular deck as an option on my reading table at private events, at parties, at corporate events, and I have all of my decks facing down as a choice of decks, most people, for some reason, they're just like, I don't know why, but I'm going towards this one. I'm just like, that's because it's my workhorse deck. You're feeling the energy. You're feeling the energy, and you, like, I can tell you how. I can tell you how you know. It's because this is my most used tarot deck. So there you are, everybody. How many tarot decks, how many decks do I own? Oracle decks, cartomancy, runes, you name it. Not including my charm casting, I guess. 111. That is the count thus far. This might be the final part that I do, part 4. Or I might discover some more tarot decks in the mix. But thus far, as of June 5th, Yes. Yes. As of Friday, June 5th, your girl Hillary, Tarot by Hillary, tarotbyhillary.com if you want to book a reading, has 111 decks to choose from. 111 ways to enter into my intuition and enter into your intuition. And the language between us is the cards that come out. So thank you all so much for joining me. And if you have any questions for me, if there's a particular deck that you want to be read from, you can totally do that. Again, this is part 4, so you can go ahead and look up parts 1 through 3 as well on this here platform. And I hope to see you all soon. Like I said before, we started with the Crow Tarot at number 91. And today's card of the day is the Ace of Cups, which I will post shortly.